We got some news about Golden Globes. We got some news about Peacemaker. We got some news about Mandalorian. We're going to be looking at Echo, and I've got one hell of a guest that's going to be joining us for this episode, and I can't wait to dive into all of it. But everyone, you know what comes up first.
Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. And for this particular episode, as mentioned, I've got Khalil from the Comic Book Boys. How you going, man?
How are you doing? I'm so glad to be back. You just keep bringing me back for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know how I impress you so much that you want to have me back on, but I'm glad to be here. So, you know.
Oh no, you're one of my favorite guests. This is actually the third time you've been on this show. And the last time you were on here, we reviewed Flash, which was, I will look back and I watched that episode just a little bit. I was like, yeah, that Flash was such a hit and a miss.
Was that the last time I was on? I thought I'd been on since then.
No, that was the last time.
Oh, wow.
30 episodes ago.
Wow. It's good then that you're getting your fill of me. You're for the next 30 episodes. Good.
Oh, it'll be a lot sooner than that. No, because the last time I was actually on your show.
You were on my podcast. That's why I'm thinking it was sooner than that. Yeah. That makes sense.
All right. Well, of course, I've invited you to.
It's not just me. He just doesn't like. He's just finding all these new friends, and he just doesn't need us anymore. It's okay. That's actually good though, because I was gonna say your podcast that you did with and I'm just completely blanking. Whoever I think you did 2 weeks ago, B Critics.
Oh yes.
I'm having them on my podcast on Monday. So. You know,
oh really?
Yeah. Because I saw your episode and I thought, okay, this works. So, you know, you're an inspiration.
Oh, thanks, man. That warms right here. But no, you'll have a lot of fun with them. I'm really glad we got to do Back to the Future with them. What are you going to be talking about? Do we have any insight?
I'm going to be doing some trivia with them, and I'm going to be testing them on their own movie knowledge. And then we'll talk about some other stuff too. That's all I'm saying for now, because it's all I know. You know as much as I do now, so yeah, that's the problem I'll figure out between now and Monday. So yeah.
Oh well, for everyone who's listening, definitely go check out the episode, because with all three of them, I have no doubt that's going to be an awesome
hilarious
episode. Yeah.
And then we also recorded a podcast yesterday without you, because you were busy.
I know. Time zones are a lot of fun.
I mean, it was in the middle of your day, so it's not like it was, we recorded, and you were sleeping. Like, let's not pretend time zones were the real factor there. But, I will.
Okay. Time zones and terrible planning, thanks to my partner who reminded me that we had family coming over.
Or you forgetting that and making plans despite that. But yeah.
That too. That too. Yeah, that could be.
You could blame other people, but you could also just say, I messed up, and then you come move on.
Yeah, I was wrong. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm derailing your show. So this is
that's all right. Because the last episode we did together on your show, we
talked about the broken DC universe.
That's it. That's right. Yep. Because it was just in time because we're getting ready for Aquaman.
Yes. I haven't seen
Which
that
did
yet.
you? Damn. I was gonna say, if you've seen it, I'd love to know. Love to know what your thoughts on that was.
I'd love to know what my thoughts are too, but unfortunately, I was not going to the theater to watch that movie.
Why? Don't you want to spend hard-earned money on a movie that has zero connection to the overall universe?
No. No. My mother wanted to see it, but I was like, nope, not happening.
Look, That's fair. I got a free ticket to go to it, and I also
Yeah.
paid a ticket to go see it with a whole bunch of friends.
Wait, so you went
And
twice. You got them to pay for you to go see it, and then you went and you said, "I'm gonna go watch it again after seeing how bad it is." I'm assuming it's bad. I haven't seen it.
I did. I thought I watched it, and I'm going to watch that again. Actually, two reasons I wanted to watch it again is because I went and saw an IMAX, and I didn't actually read the ticket properly, and it said it was in 3D, and I haven't seen a 3D movie in a very long time, and I was a bit like, "Oh shit, that's right. This is interesting to watch in 3D," and it's not really a 3D movie either.
Well, no movie. Like very few movies nowadays, I guess, unless your name's James Cameron, is a 3D movie. Like,
Looks at well, yeah, Avatar 2.
which also sucked.
Yes, Aquaman was 3D, but nothing was
Every
really
movie's
3D.
3D nowadays.
Yeah,
You can watch every movie in 3D.
Would you watch The Room in 3D?
You probably could. I would never. I barely pay for 3D movies as it is anymore because the novelty's worn off. You know.
I know. The last time I remember 3D movies being, "Oh my god, this is such a big thing," was Avatar. That was the last time I remember a big hype about 3D
It was
movies.
like a year ago today, so you know.
No, I meant the first one.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a few things between them. I just can't remember any of them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Five Nights at Freddy. I don't know. Would you watch that in 3D?
I haven't seen it in regular D.
Neither have I. But I think that was it Blumhouse's highest grossing movie they've ever produced.
Very successful movie.
Yeah.
We talked about that yesterday too, but you know.
Oh, all right. I get the point.
I'm just saying.
Get the point. But you must have big plans this year for the podcast. I think since you were last on here, you changed your logo to the Comic Book Network, CB Network.
Since last time I was on here, yes, it has changed. Yeah. Wait, has it in your last 30 episodes? Really? Wow.
Yeah, because I last episode I still have your old logo.
I must have been phasing it in. We actually have a new logo, but I'll send that to you later.
You're changing another logo again.
Well, it's technically changed in some places. I don't know. Brand consistency is not really the strong suit right now. But you know, it's okay.
Oh no, it's hard because you want to change things, and then you're like, what's going to not stick. Hey, Brandon remembers the episode that we did together, and I think he came past that too. So appreciate him coming past and watching that. And by the way, your smile, by the YouTube chat, by the way, your smile look, you're staring into my soul. Which one?
Is it me?
Which one? So what was the, like, I can't remember if I did ask you last time we recorded, what was the change from turning into the network? Like, what were I just thought?
We have more podcasts that don't actually. Well, first of all, the name Comic Boys only works if you just talk about comic stuff. But when you stop doing that, then you get these people who ask you why you call Comic Boys and do you just talk about superheroes. And I'm like, no, we don't. Also, we've added more podcasts, and so network made more sense. And also, every great company or every great organization, just when they don't like their name, they just acronymize it, and then that's what they do. So that's what I did.
Oh, that's true. How many podcasts? So, like, do you are these podcasts under like are you appearing on each one, or these?
I produce all of them. There's 2 that are on hiatus now. There's the regular one on hiatus temporarily. Still trying to figure out when they're coming back, which I don't host either of. Then I have obviously my regular one, and then I have the one with the U of T, which is Movie Madness with Khalil Jamal. It's good for my search terms on the internet to have my name in the name. But yeah, those are the 4 podcasts that we have.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Like, how much does that take up your time producing them?
Um. Uh,
oh.
yeah, no, yeah, yeah, it's time. Yeah, as you know, as someone with the podcast knows, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you produce. I don't know how you produce all
I
of
don't
them.
produce the one with the radio station with CIUT radio station. That one I have an editor and a producer. I just go in there and I just talk. But then the other ones I produce and stuff. So
is that the one that you posted with your co-host and you did the bubble? It's like, does he ever shut up?
that wasn't my co-host. That was just a guest I had. But yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that was from that podcast. Yeah.
All right. And which I don't know, you got favoritism, but which out of the two podcasts that you do appear on, which one do you have more fun on?
Man, the answer is obviously I don't know. They're both fun. It depends on because I have guests on both of them, so I don't. I can't pick between my podcasts. I love them all equally.
That's good.
Like one would love children.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And like what's your big direction you want to go with your network? Like, are you looking to have like 5 under your banner? Or how do you see this all going? Like, where do you want to take it?
Well, we'll see. Some days I want to retire from podcasting. The other days I want to like add 3 more podcasts. So, it depends on the day. As I'm sure you've had those thoughts of like, maybe I should just, be done with this thing now. And then the next day you're like, wait, no one wants to talk to me about movies. Okay, well, I'm just going to turn on a microphone and talk about movies. So it depends on the day. I don't know. There's some theoretical plans, but I mean, right now we're focusing on getting through year 7 and then we're going to see what happens. So,
right.
I honestly, again, if I had more to tell you, I would, but right now I'm just like, living day by day, so to speak.
No, that's fine. And I think every content creator, whether you're YouTube podcaster, TikToker, you've all had those thoughts where you're like, I don't know if I want to do this again. I hate everything. Nothing's working. And then next day you're like, you know what? I'm having a good day. Now let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see where the things go. If we have success, then we'll kind of reevaluate. But for the time being, we're just kind of staying the course.
If you're in control, man, I have no doubt that it's just going to go as up directory.
I appreciate that.
From everything you've done so far that I've seen you do. Like, I have no doubt.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, we're hoping for the best. So we'll see what happens. But.
I'll make sure to be like, share, and I'll be your biggest fan.
Thank you. And I mean, I'll keep having you on if you'll keep coming on, and
Done deal. I never say no. Yeah. Never say no. Also, apparently both of our smiles are like looking into his soul.
Okay.
But look, we're looking into your soul, but I thank you for the fact that you're commenting and you've come past again for the live stream. Why is his mic looks like his kid's head? What?
My mic?
All right, let's get into some news before we dive into the review, which is for Echo.
Echo.
Which only 5 episodes. It did drop in one bundle. I can't wait for us to get into it. Mm-hmm. But I do have one question. What was your thoughts on the Golden Globes this past week with a terrible monologue, and I forgot his name, but he was has to be the
Joe Coy.
Shittest hosts I've ever seen for that show.
Okay, I've done the being mean about this, so I'm going to be a little bit nice. Okay, I've done the being mean. I'm going to be a little bit nice, a little bit more, reflective.
Okay.
So did you watch I'm assuming you watched it, right?
Yeah, I did. I watched it, and when you like someone makes a joke and you're just like, Oh, that wasn't really. That's awkward. That's fun. Not funny at all. Like that's not like Ricky Gervais funny. Like that's just, ew.
Yeah, that so I think, and again, I've watched award shows and especially the opening monologues for a long time, right? And I'll tell you, like there were some clever things in there, but I don't think throwing your writers under the bus because you're bombing is a good idea.
No.
I also don't think that like you look at the like there's a difference between making people angry at you, the people in that room specifically being angry at you, and making them just look uncomfortable, right? Because like Ricky Gervais, say what you will about him, and I, generally speaking, he wasn't liked in that room. But there were two things I think that separated him. First of all, he to some extent, and Jimmy Fallon or whichever one of the Jimmys hosts the Oscars. I think it's Fallon, it might be Kimmel, I don't know. I literally mix them up all the time. But they are insiders in this group, in this room, right? So if they're saying something about an actor or a director, it's a little bit less weird. Because the person they had host was not an insider in that group, right? And so when you kind of say things, it's like if I were to go up there and start insulting these people on stage, like you're not going to feel it's not going to feel endearing, right? It feels more endearing if it's someone who is kind of in your inner group, and say what you will, this ceremony is an inner group thing.
A friend who's joking with you.
Yeah, well, it's like. It's different than a stranger's just starting to like roast you and trying to play it off as laughs, right? And I think that's like, I think there is that identity of being an insider in this Hollywood elite group versus being an outsider. And, people may not like that, but that's the reality.
Yeah. And didn't he say, like, he only got the job 10 days prior?
Yeah, something like that.
Like if you were so worried that you were going to be shit at it or not going to have enough time, why'd you say yes?
You don't say no to that job, though. You don't say no. Like, in reality, you don't say no to that job, no matter what. Like, first of all, you have to believe you're funny enough to be able to pull it off. And you also don't say no to that job. If someone comes along to you and says, hey, do you want to host the Golden Globes? You don't say no, you say yes. In that position, right?
Yeah,
there was a lot of people who did say no, by the way, which is why they had to end up going to him. But I'm saying, and if you're a comedian in that position where you do have a real opportunity, and he did have a real opportunity, in all likelihood that's probably squandered, but he had a real opportunity to make a name for himself and become one of the Hollywood insiders, or in the elite insiders. Unfortunately, looks like the problem is he keeps saying stuff now, trying to defend himself, which makes it even worse for him. Like, he called all the actors marshmallows today, and I'm kind of sitting here like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like,
it's over and done with. Like,
just say, you know what, I screwed up, move on. Is it like he's still coming today? I don't know. I'm assuming you saw the marshmallow comment, right?
I did see it. I did see it pop up on my Instagram.
Like, that's the thing. It's like, again, the comment works, but it's like it doesn't, because everyone knows you're kind of like a fraud within this inner circle. So you, again, like, calling people soft is not helping, right? No. Like, it's not ingratiating yourself with the people who could give you work in the future. It just seems like a very, very bad employment move, beyond anything else.
Well, that's the thing. Do you think he's like blacklisted himself now? Like, no one's gonna come and get you. No one's gonna invite you. No one's gonna invite you back to do this again. That's for sure.
And it wasn't even like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do this, but I'm also gonna make sure that I'm so funny that people are gonna just come back. Like, because again, he could have done the same. And like, there were moments, again, and I'm going back to this opening monologue, but like, there were moments where he was kind of doing the right thing someone in his position had to do, where he was kind of, being a fanboy of these actors and actresses and directors, right? Like, there were and then I think he started the thing, which I'm assuming was written into the script, but like starting that trend of talking about like lying about whether or not you've seen the stuff that's nominated, right? Which is a thing that was carried on kind of, with a few of the presenters as well. Like there were a few clever things that he did, but then, you know, he would do that and then just start, you know, attacking Barbie. Like I actually thought all those Oppenheimer jokes were funny. The Barbie one was a little bit ridiculous. And also when you saw I think the reaction of Greta Gerwig when she had she looked visibly uncomfortable when the camera panned to her. Margot Robbie, I think as well, they panned to, and she looked visibly uncomfortable. If you make Robert De Niro look visibly uncomfortable, then you really manage to screw yourself up. That's my opinion.
It was different. Like when you look at like the reactions of Ricky Gervais,
they were embarrassed.
They were embarrassed because the reactions that he got when he made his jokes, like when Greta and everything, it just looked like they looked uncomfortable. They just want to be like this.
But not even because that kind of, you know, denotes embarrassment to some extent. They just looked like they were almost disgusted with their own behavior. Like they almost I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It was very, very, very weird. And it wasn't what, again, you would expect from someone. Like it's not the reaction you're hoping for, right? And especially for someone who's an outsider, right? Like you think about it from your perspective, right? If some random person on the street started roasting you in front of your friends, would you be okay with that? Probably not.
I'd be like, who the hell are you?
Correct. If one of your friends did it in front of you and your friends, then you would have no issues with that. You may be a little bit embarrassed, but you wouldn't be, you know, almost disgusted with them, right? Like, you know what I mean? There's the line which I don't think he understood, and I mean, you know.
No, and as you said earlier, you don't throw your writers on the bus. I'm like, these people are here to help you.
And maybe his writers did screw up. I mean, maybe his writers wrote it for someone like a Ricky Gervais, and he just ended up saying the jokes, and maybe, you know, maybe he's right, but you don't say that on stage, right?
No, you don't. No, and do you like the fact that we were talking before, Cillian Murphy won Best Actor, Oppenheimer won Best Movie.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That one I'm okay with. Although the one thing I will say, and I don't know what your opinion on this is, but I think that they have officially made themselves the Golden Globes officially become just like a clown show with the fact that this Best Box Office Award went to Barbie when there is really no criteria for it. And when I was predicting it, it's funny because I said, you know, if this, I don't know how they're going to judge this because again, it's a very dumb award because one of the movies, the movie that ended up winning it and also was probably favored to win it going into it, was the movie that made the most money, which was Barbie, which was also nominated for Best Comedy. So, you know, the existence of this category is pointless. And the movie I thought, you know, again, should have probably wanted to, you know, depending on how you want to judge this category, was probably the Taylor Swift movie, only because that movie did so much better than people thought it would. And it nominated for anything else.
That made a shit ton of money.
And again, I like Barbie. I understand it's called the box office award and it made the most money. But if that's the only criteria, then why is it an award? Isn't the best box office award the fact? Like, because you know what it was. I'll tell you why do you remember why they created it in the first place?
No.
They did it because they wanted to have a way to put in the biggest movies of the year because they would never nominate them for any of the real categories, right? So, but what they ended up doing by accident, and this is where you're going to see the incompetence of the people who run the Golden Globes. Because what you're going to see is you're going to see them say, hey, there was an uptick in viewership since like 2019, right? Which is, you know, pretty good. And they're like, it's because of this award. No. Do you know why it was? Because Oppenheimer and Barbie were nominated in the 2 top tier movie categories and people were actually invested in them because people had actually seen both those movies. When you're invested in the movies that are nominated at the top, you're going to tune in. That's just how it works. No one cares with this other category. That was not the reason the ratings or the viewership went up.
No, it's because of what got nominated. Like if you nominate Barbie and Oppenheimer compared to, no offense, some indie film that only a portion of people have seen, what's going to get more eyes on your product?
Well, and I mean, look, again, and I've always said this, which is the Oscars figured this out, which is you just nominate something for the sake of it. Like you've got so many spots to nominate things. Like, even if you're not going to let them, and I think this time it's because everyone thought Oppenheimer had an actual chance to win and Barbie had an actual chance to win. I predicted Barbie was going to win Best Comedy. It didn't. But,
I would have made that same prediction. I'd say Barbie would have won because I think Barbie made about 200 million more than Guardians of the Galaxy. I think isn't it Barbie, Guardians of the Galaxy, Oppenheimer for last year?
Potentially, I don't even remember. But what I will say is, I don't think that, like, I don't. Box office has never had anything to do with Best Comedy, right? So.
Oh no, it never does.
Yeah. So that's why I don't think it ended up winning. Also, because if you give Barbie an award for something else, you're not going to give another award. So because the voters all talk to each other too, right? It's very small. It's all very dumb. Awards are dumb. That's the takeaway from all this.
Oh well, what was the second award show the other day? And I saw
the creative Emmys. I think were the other day.
You might have been, and you seen the Marvel joke. That's
the Deadpool joke.
No, with the about the fact that I forgot her name. The girl from Black Panther, the mum.
Oh, she's finally ruling or whatever, because she finally gone. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what the actual joke was, but yeah.
It was. Angela Bassett was that she's just she's finally won this award, and the fact is like she also got a Best Supporting Actress for her Black Panther role, and it was like that's like for a Marvel movie, and that's like getting something for a Reddit comment, and I was like, yeah, another Marvel joke, of course. Wow, you're really creative there. Really creative. Okay. I think it must have been the Emmys.
It might, yeah, it was probably the Emmys.
Yeah, and I forgot the presenter's name, but he's in a Marvel movie too.
But that's what they do, right? They don't consider Marvel serious. That's okay.
No, which Robert Downey Jr. was just on, I think, Rob Lowe's podcast, and he even said his best acting he's ever done has been in Marvel, but it will go unnoticed because of genre.
Yep. He's not wrong.
No, like Endgame. Enough said.
I have different opinions on Endgame, but I agree with the concept, so I'm not going to argue with you on the minutiae.
That's another.
The only reason he should have gotten nominated for Endgame was to make up for the fact that he's been snubbed multiple times when him as Iron Man has been the best, one of the 5 best performances of the year multiple times. Like personally, at least, I believe the majority of the discourse around him potentially getting nominated was just purely because he had deserved it so many times and they never given to him. This was the last chance to give it to him. I'm so happy that he finally has a role, and shout out to Nolan for this, but he finally has a role which people could see him as something other than Iron Man, to the point where he's able to win an award. And maybe that's because he wasn't in color. I don't know, but whatever it was, that worked for him. And I never thought it would happen. Like, I never thought he'd be able to be seen in a role that wasn't Iron Man, but shout out Nolan.
He did great. Well, his role in Oppenheimer was great, and he was well deserved to get that award. But you're right. At the same time, like, I kind of wish you got at least something for Iron Man, because you did so good.
It was the same reason that people were kind of rooting for. I mean, for obviously there were other reasons as well, but one of the reasons people were rooting for Chadwick to win the year that Hopkins won.
Which even Hopkins was like. He even said to himself, didn't he? He's like, I'm so surprised I won this award. I didn't think I would because of how old I am. But thank you.
Yeah, it was awkward, and it was a disaster. That was, again, the award season going without blunders is never going to happen, right? And especially not without some controversy about, white people versus other people winning. So,
No, there's always going to be an upset. But with upset and not upsets, how do you feel about that? We're going to touch on this. See, you're all going to smile. the excess of like YouTube, long-time YouTubers quitting.
Yeah, Matt Pat is like the guy. I'm telling you, Film Theory was that. Wait, can I swear on here? I don't know.
Yeah, you can
Can
swear.
I?
It's all
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
long as you don't say the C word.
okay. The Film Theory is that shit. Like, it was that shit. It was so good. It's unfortunate, but I mean, I haven't watched it in years, but I'm sad still because I used to watch it. That Film Theory used to be awesome. Then he became a little bit of a Marvel hater in my mind, and then I stopped watching. But it's okay.
Well, that's the hot topic, to be a Marvel hater. Like, I don't know if you saw, I posted a photo yesterday. It was like Buzz Lightyear and all the light years. And it was like, oh, I stopped watching Marvel after Endgame. Yeah, you were 1,000 other clones of people.
Most people, it's.
But do you think with the people, these long-time YouTube creators quitting is more so the fact that, I understand people want to do different things, you got to grow as a creator, but because they've been doing, it's just the cycle of the, these long-term creators, that because they've been doing it so long, they were there at the boom, that it's just their time. Like, here's my 10 years or 15 years of body of work. I'm leaving like every other creator that started at that time. And like, it's just a cycle.
Look, I think okay, hold on. How do I gotta say this right, because if I don't want to get, I think that, every career people want to move on, like it happens in all sorts of media, right? You see this from broadcast news to everything else, right? People just decide they're done and they want to move on. You can imagine when you're doing this as a living, it's a big stressor, right? Like I can't imagine again, as someone who doesn't do podcasting for a living, I can tell you, I can't even imagine the level of stress, right, that making YouTube videos and making podcasts for a living would be, right? When, literally you could become irrelevant in a day, right? Like, and I think we talked about this when you came on to my show, right? And it's like, if you do this for a living, you can just go from everything to nothing so quickly. And we see it happen, typically on YouTube, right? Because they document it to try to make back some of the money and get some of the clout that they've lost, right? So
we're sorry.
Right. Well, that's more when you do something controversial. But like that's the thing, right? It's like it's a nasty business. It's frankly, generally speaking, not the most profitable business in the world. Although it is, it's good if you can get to that point. But like, I mean, look, can't fault, as unfortunate as it is, you can't fault anyone for wanting to do their thing. And I think you're going to see these people kind of, as they get into their kind of, like, I think his reason, I haven't seen the video, I saw some people talking about it, but like the reason, some of his reasonings was like, I've done this half my life, right? And he's like, and I think as people get into their 40s, they're like, and like late 30s, 40s, whatever, they're gonna be like, is sitting here talking about movies and video games the thing I want to do, the only thing I want to do? Like, it also does stop becoming fun at some point. Like, I think that is a thing, right? When you have so much riding on everything you do. It's general celebrity too. Like, it's the same thing for athletes, same thing for actors.
Yeah. Like you're gonna want to do different things. You get to that point.
You want to have a family. You want to, you don't want to do that with this kind of thing being your livelihood. I understand it. Again, I can. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand it as well. It just seems I don't know if it's just because it's just a bunch of them just seem being quitting all at once, opposed to one here and one there, and it's a hard thing because for just like as you mentioned, like it's when you grow up with these these TV shows, essentially you grow up with these characters and these personalities for so long, and when you finally when you get to the season finale, you're like, oh shit, and you go there, this has been happening for the past 12 years. It's time to end.
When Miley Cyrus had to move on from Hannah Montana, people were sad, and but she was a person who needed to move on clearly, and she did. So
Yeah, and when I got sad when Big Bang Theory came to an end too. Like we just had to.
Well, don't worry, they're gonna keep milking that IP forever and ever and ever. Don't worry about that.
Oh, you will. Oh, 100%. It's just
I was
like Friends.
they
They're gonna
announced the
pump it out.
Unpleasant one, and then they're gonna bring it back with a spinoff. So it's not really done.
No,
But yeah,
but it's just those things, and some
and he's
people.
coming back with a spinoff too, and he'll probably make cameos. So it's all good. It's like
Well,
movies.
Well, that's right. Usually, what happens is they're not going. They're just taking more of a backseat role, but their
Well, that's what he
content
said.
or
He
their
said
channel.
he's still going to be doing stuff. He's going to be, kind of ushering this new era under his brand, right? So, again, and look, I'm gonna butcher a movie quote here, but it's better to die early than live long enough to see yourself become the villain, right?
Yes, you either
And
die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself.
That's the one. Yeah. But that's the thing. And you look at that and, you look at some certain Star Wars YouTubers, for example, who have, lived long enough to see themselves to literally become the epitome of all things bad with Star Wars, just happens.
Yeah, and they become the exact thing that they set out not to be, and then they are. So, but no, look, wish him all the best on what his next adventures go on to. But that's the thing is, like, when people do get upset, you can be upset. You just can't be angry at them. You can't get angry for.
I don't think I've seen anyone angry at them. Maybe I missed it. I haven't looked too much, but that would be ridiculous if people were angry.
I've seen a couple of comments. I'm like, out of the 10 that's sad, I've seen about 2 in between. They've been like,
you know what? One day when I retire from this, I want people to be angry that I'm retiring. I would like.
I will be. I'd be like, no, you can't retire. You're gonna keep going, and I want you to be live streaming on your last day.
Yeah, I mean, one day, who knows? Maybe I'll never retire. Maybe I'll just live forever. I don't know. Just live forever.
I think you will.
Possibly. Yeah.
I think you will.
This is news.
Yeah, Top Gun 3 is currently in development at the moment, with all the main characters returning. I was a bit surprised the fact they were going to go with this. A little bit surprised because I thought Top Gun 2 just did so well as a legacy movie that I don't really know.
Are you surprised that movie that made money was getting a sequel? Do you not know what industry you're talking about here? The one where they remake their own movies to make more money?
I know, but like, where could you go with the third one? Like,
Doesn't
that's
matter.
my million. Like,
who cares? Are people going to show up and watch it?
Yes.
Okay, well there you go. That's the answer.
Did you like Top Gun 2?
I like the first one more, which apparently is a hot take. I don't know.
I don't think that's a hot take.
It is apparently it's a hot take. I've been told multiple times that's a very unpopular opinion. But I enjoy the original one more than I like the sequel. Maybe it's because a lot of people haven't seen the original. I don't know. But apparently it's an unpopular opinion.
Oh.
I also think that Tom Cruise is an okay actor, so
he's an okay actor who's just got a brand new office at Warner Brothers. Did you hear about that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That his production team and Warner Bros. Have come to a deal for him to create new franchise movies with him starring in some, not starring in some, basically giving him the keys to make whatever he wants. I'm like, didn't that go really well when he got really involved with The Mummy?
So this is the thing. I do want to one day see him direct a movie. I also think it's different. I think giving his production company, giving him full access is different. So typically what you see, and this is not an uncommon thing, which is why I think, because I've seen a lot of people say the same thing that you're saying, right? And so typically what the deal was, at least from my knowledge, is they're giving his production company this ability to create new franchises with him starring in some of them. He is the face of his production company, but at the end of the day, like if you go through movies and you look at who's on this executive producer list, that's all that it'll mean for him. Like in reality, the most it'll mean for him is his name will pop up on the executive producer list. His actual involvement with these franchises will be very limited. I do think one of these he'll direct. I'm interested in seeing that for sure, actually. But for the most part, again, it's not going to be. So The Mummy is handled very poorly. The whole franchise handled very poorly. But it won't be like that, right? And I've seen people say the same thing, like, "Oh, should we really be giving?" They're not giving him control. They're just saying we're going to put your name on all these movies, so even if you're not starring in them, we can still sell them as this is a Tom Cruise movie.
This is a Tom Cruise production.
It's marketing. It's nothing more than marketing. His production company is run by people who aren't him. His name is just the thing that get them in the door.
The brand.
So yeah, it's the brand.
Yeah.
He's the brand, and his production company is the brand that he created. So. It's a little bit different than I think what a lot of you're not the only one to be saying this kind of thing though, so it's No,
I've seen another comment like that. And look, I just don't want it to be like the Mummy and what he does make. But now you've actually mentioned about
it might be because it's Warner Bros, but it won't be.
Well, that's true. It's like we have all these characters. Yeah, let's just stuff them all around and let's just throw anything at the wall that says it sticks. Doesn't care about the fans. You actually a really good point. I'd be curious to see him direct a movie.
I think he wants to direct one too, so I think we'll get it. But
well, he's got a license to do everything else.
The only thing I'm going to say is this though, and that was funny. What I will say is this though, I don't want him to act and direct and star in a movie. I don't want that. I want him to he can direct a movie, but I don't want him in it at all. Maybe as nothing more than a cameo, because I think people don't realize how hard it is for people to direct and star in their own movies, and I don't think he's capable of doing it. Now, if he could prove me wrong, that'd be great. But you heard it right.
You heard it right here, Tom Cruise. We have a challenge for you.
As is hard enough to get a good performance out of him, so you need someone who can actually get that out of him, and he's just going to keep saying that would be the most self-indulgent.
Hey situation. Man, good to see you live and out of the Discord for once. Yeah, of course we're live. Of course we're out of Discord. But thanks for going past, man. But no, sorry, keep going.
Well, I was going to say it would just be so self-indulgent of like. He might replace everyone in the movie with himself, and it would be a disaster because, look at Tom Cruise. He needs a director who actually can tell him, like, okay, stop being stupid and just act. And I think him directing himself would be the most disastrous thing that could happen. Now, again, that's why I want him to direct other people, which I think he would be good at. But
yeah, how much?
But also get a really good writer to write the script, ideally. And just basically let him rubber stamp direct it.
That's true. All I could picture in my head was him directing himself, being like, "You got to run more. You got to run more. You got to keep running the entire time. You need to really run, man, and you got to make sure you're ready."
But that's what I'm saying. You need someone talent who's acting. You need a great writer, and then you can put whoever you want to direct it, including Tom Cruise, and you'll be fine. It's gonna have all the safety nets up, as you typically see with actors. Who, if you go and you look at movies where there's people, and I think the only person who's done this in my mind, I'm probably forgetting 700 people, but the most recent person I can think of who did this successfully was Bradley Cooper, right? He's really, he also someone who, at least the way he acts is with no ego, so it doesn't seem like he, needs that much pushing to, he was a raccoon. Right. That speaks to his character enough.
He's a raccoon, and which is one of the best performances he's done.
It is the best, yes.
Yeah, the best. And God, I haven't gone back and watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I can't watch it. I know I'm just going to cry. I just know I'm going to cry again.
I think he was better in 1 than 3 too, if we're being honest.
Really?
Yeah. I think CGI in 3 was better, but I think I just think outside of 2, he was great. Honestly, he's the only bright spot of 2, if we're being, if we want to be more honest. But
that's another thing. But yes, going back, Top Gun 3 is in development.
I love when we just start talking about something else.
Yeah. I would say 2027.
They'll rush it out as quickly as possible. I would probably say 6. Yeah.
But my prediction: it will not make as much money as number 2 anywhere close.
If it comes in 27, it will. If it comes in 26, it will.
Why? What makes you think that?
time between the original and or the next one, and you have to. There has to be enough waiting time, because I think again, and the way you judge it this early out is if you look at the reactions of people, which is why, by the way, I don't know if I made this prediction yet, but Avatar 3 is going to be a stinker, box office wise, right? Because you have to have enough wait time, you have to have enough people wanting it in order for it to be successful.
Avatar 3 is December 2025.
Yep. I thought it was this year. I may be wrong. I thought it was. They might have moved it, but I thought it was this year. Wait, no, it isn't this year. They moved it, right,
December 2025.
Yeah. Still too. Like it's not. You're gonna need you. They really need to put 10 years between them, but they won't do that. So
no,
the third one's gonna bomb.
Well, this is the Fire Nation. This one, isn't it? The Fire Nation.
I don't know or care. I try very hard to care about some things. Like I'm gonna try very hard to care about this guy. I can't care about Avatar. I can't even pretend to care about Avatar.
What about Peacemaker? Can you care about Peacemaker?
I can try.
This particular one, Peacemaker season 2 has been greenlit, and we recently got an update from James Gunn that Peacemaker, he's halfway written Peacemaker season 2. Obviously, right now he is fully indulged in with Superman Legacy. He's going to be directing that, and obviously setting up a new DC EU. Actually, so it's not called DCU; it's just called DCU, I think, or DCU, or whatever it's going to be moving forward.
It's some name. It'll last for 3 years. It'll die, and we'll move on to the next version of DC. So I'm not gonna get. It's hard to get invested in the name of the universe, or honestly in Peacemaker, because do we even know Peacemaker, who is technically part of the old DC universe, which ended this year, is actually part of the new one, or is it only for some time?
He's part of the new one. James Gunn has tweeted that he's part of the new DC. But how? The funny thing is, it's just like, how's it going to be that? If he sees the Justice League again, are you just going to be like, huh? You all look very different to the last time I saw you guys.
So they're just use him as dead, like, because the other thing is he also said Blue Beetle was was part of the old DC universe, right? And then it bombed, and then because he does this, and he even said, oh well, Aquaman might be a part of the new. Jason Momoa Aquaman might be a part of the new DC universe. He's just trying to backtrack on the fact that he kind of sunk the entirety of DC. I don't know if that's any different for Peacemaker. Like, they could just end up getting canceled because I don't trust anything he says, because I don't think he knows what's going on right now.
I think he does now. The DCU's done. Now Aquaman's done.
It's not done though. Not really. Like, you say it's done, but we still got Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman, and then Matt Reeves' Penguin series, which are apparently different. You're right, which is what you're going to say. However, Matt Reeves' Arkham series is a part of the series, I guess, technically. I don't know. So have fun with that one.
James Gunn. James Gunn did say that is part of the DCU moving forward. I don't know how that makes sense. That was probably the one. That was the one that was a bit like, oh, I don't get it.
Plus, his Suicide Squad is not a part of the DC universe, and Harley Quinn, as Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, is not a part of the new DC universe, as stated by Margot Robbie. So, yeah, you figure that one out for me, and let me know when you do, because that would be very useful. So, yeah.
I'll try to. Because the Batman separate, the Joker 2 separate, but yeah. I don't know. You're right. Actually, probably right. He's still trying to figure it all out. And good luck to James Gunn.
If it survives 5 years, then I think he'll have it figured out.
Yeah, sure about to. Mando movie, and Mando season 4.
Yeah, no.
Nah.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so do you want predictions? I haven't made these anywhere yet. I'm gonna make predictions I haven't made anywhere yet. This is exclusive prediction right here.
I'm gonna lean in really close.
Yeah, you gotta listen. So this is the prediction. This movie is being called Mando and Grogu, or whatever it's called. It'll end up being a setup to the next movie, which is going to be the Thrawn movie, right? Which is the big conclusion to this mini arc in Star Wars. They're doing this to try. The reason they did this, because the way I at least from my understanding, this unfolded is it unfolded with basically Filoni coming on full time, and then they basically recharted Star Wars, put a little bit more emphasis on this. They realized the only way to make this successful is if it made money. They realized that Mandalorian's doing really good at toy sales, same with Grogu. So they realized the only way they could do this is by, and also allowing them to set up these two characters, which people may not know before they have the movie, which they're hoping is going to be a massive, multi-billion-dollar success. With Thrawn is to introduce these characters, so they're going to do some version of like a 2-part movie.
Yeah, actually, no, I can see it. So you think that instead of them just going straight into the Thrawn movie, which was previously announced, that they're going to pump out a Mando movie first to get the casual viewer up to speed, and then go boom into Thrawn.
Because if they don't, then what's going to happen is it could be the solo box office numbers. And if the solo box office numbers happen to what is supposed to be the big culminating of like this series of this new era, you're done. Your career's everything screwed. Yeah, that's the end of your career if as being in charge of Star Wars. As much as you like Filoni, if he produces a Star Wars movie with solo numbers, which is going to be billed as this big return to what it made Star Wars great, it's going to be a disaster. So he's trying to use this as a way to basically try to sell the merch, also get the audience caught up to the story, and then kind of go into the movie with all the hype. Which is, I think it's smart. You could have just done this in Mando season 4 or season 4.5. Like, we don't need.
You probably don't need season 4 if you make the movie.
Yeah, there's still story reasons. Currently Mandalorian's holding Disney Plus together. Of course, they're doing a season 4. The entire Star Wars brand of Disney Plus is being held together by Mandalorian right now.
Yeah, well, was it my last episode? Or maybe the episode before that? I did say I think people do forget that Mando singly saved Star Wars. We have to remember that.
On Disney Plus, he did, and maybe he'll save it in the box. They're trying to have him save it in the box office too.
Well, you tell me, what do you think more people to go to? Are you going to go? More people going to go to the Rey movie, or are you going to go watch the Mando movie / the Rise of Thrawn movie?
So if you told me you can only choose one, right? The Rey one or this weird, not the Rise of Thrawn one, not the Rise of Thrawn one. That's separate, okay? Okay,
this one.
If you told me Mando and Grogu or Rey, I will go with Rey 110% of the time. That story is so much more interesting to me than this story. Like, I liked The Mandalorian season 1. I thought it was great. I got very bored of The Mandalorian very quickly because he showed up. He ruined Boba Fett. He ruined Ahsoka. He just keeps showing up and ruining things. And
Ahsoka season 2 has been greenlit too.
I know, and I am thrilled about that because I did love the show Ahsoka. I just thought that Mando's I'm pretty sure he made an appearance in that show, and it was unwanted. I'm pretty sure. Did he make an appearance in that show?
No, he did. No.
Oh wait, no. I think Ahsoka took an episode of Mando's show or Boba Fett's show, right? She took an episode of someone's show, and he appeared in that.
Book of Boba Fett. It was Mando who took it, but Mando took it where he met Luke and Ahsoka.
That's what it was. No, Mando took 2 episodes.
Yes, he took 2 episodes, and funny enough, I'm pretty sure that's the highest rated episodes of the Book of Boba Fett TV show.
Because they were just building it. Yeah, I just think he's kind of, overdone now. I don't know. I just think we need to move on. Rey actually is an interesting story because because J.J. Abrams directed what was supposed to be the last movie. That means they didn't actually resolve anything, which means there's still 700 threads which they have to fill. And without Kylo Ren, it's going to be a little bit hard to do. But, shout out to them for trying.
Yes, Adam Driver did recently say the fact he doesn't want to come back, which is fair.
He said the character's done. They said they're doing stuff without me. I don't know if he said it was exhausting. I don't know if he said he didn't want to do it. Like, he didn't say explicitly he wouldn't do it, but he just kind of said, yeah, they're doing stuff. They haven't really called me about it. And it was tiring, and I don't know if I want to do it.
They'll come back. Everyone comes back in Star Wars eventually, as proven.
Well, I mean, you say that, but Finn's not coming back. Kylo's not coming back because both those actors have said various things of like, I don't want to do Star Wars ever again.
Yeah, I think Finn's a different kettle of fish. Finn's story you could do a whole episode on of a show about his.
Yeah, well, the fact that they misused him in such an awful way, which if I were him, I would also be angry, right? Like we've seen this.
Yeah.
It's weird because we saw this with Natalie Portman in Marvel, right? Where she was like, I don't want to come back unless I'm going to be given actual story, right? And not just to be there, right? You know, Gwyneth Paltrow said the same thing. Like you see these side characters would be that male, or I guess that we're typically being female. Now we're seeing it also going to have the male characters. Where you just get relegated to the side, you're not given any prominence, and you just kind of say, I don't want to be in this franchise if I'm just going to be the person who's there.
Yeah, just to fill the void.
Well, especially when you see all the speculation of like, oh, is he because they obviously see the speculation, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Oh my God, is he have force powers? Is he Mace Windu's son? Well, is Mace Windu going to come back? Is he oh shit! I just figured out his name. Lando's son. Is he Lando's son?
Yeah.
You know, that was
the only black characters in Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And that was massively teased.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and you don't think they see this stuff. Obviously, they see this stuff, and they're like, "Wait a second, that makes sense. Why can't I be that? I want to be that." Right? Like when I remember the first thing people said when they saw him with the lightsaber in the first Force Awakens trailer was, "Oh my God, he's gonna be a Jedi," right? And then there's stuff coming out like, "Oh, they wanted him to be a Jedi initially, and then they changed their mind," right? And so obviously. And it was, by the way, Gwyneth Paltrow, Natalie Portman said probably the same things, right? They know the comics. They know that, Pepper becomes rescued. They know that Jane becomes Thor. Like, that was in their minds the kind of, and we did end up getting that in both those cases.
We did.
So I will give them credit for that. But I'm saying, like, there was the initial anger about it after, for a long time because they felt like they're being underused, right? Same with the Rachel McAdams from Doctor Strange. There's a reason she wasn't back. Well, she was kind of back, but not really.
No.
The reason they broke out was because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, not the one from that universe. No. But I'm glad she was back for the version we did get in Doctor Strange and Multiverse.
Because again, all these characters, if they have bigger roles and then you don't give them to them, they're going to be angry. And I can't fault any of these people because they are all justified because they should be getting more roles because they're all good actors.
They should. And I can't think of Ray. I can't think of another movie Ray's been in since Star Wars ended, or that trilogy ended.
Basically nothing. It's hard when you're a main character of it. And I don't know if did you see her comments about how she thought she screwed up Star Wars?
Yeah, she did. I felt for her. I really did. I was like,
that's never a feeling you want to have. And also, I thought the Force Awakens was well received, but there were so many issues with the way they launched that trilogy. It sucks. If there was some direction, they might have had a better shot.
Well, that's the thing. I'm just looking at Daisy Ridley. She was in Chaos Walking, which was absolute bomb. Sometimes I think about dying. Adventure. I never heard any of these movies since then. But I do feel bad with her when I did see those comments about she felt like she ruined Star Wars. I'm like, you didn't ruin Star Wars. It wasn't what you
Disney did.
It's Disney did.
Yeah.
And everything. And that's the funny thing is, like, you look at that trilogy and you go, wow, that was a giant effing mess.
I mean, I loved it, but it's just I loved a few of the movies from that trilogy. But
they could what I'm saying is they could do a lot better. And then
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Then you look at the Mandoverse.
They're doing better with that. I will give them credit for that. Like, there's been no character, I think, off the top of my head where I'm like, damn, they should really underuse this character. If anything, I'm like, damn, they're overusing some of these characters now.
Yeah, it's the opposite. You're like, wow, you're using a lot of them. But yeah. I the Rey movie, I I think I need to see a bit more details of the road movie. before I get
It's going to be so
excited.
good. I don't care. They have a good director. They have a good star. No issues.
I'm in. You're excited at all for the Indiana Jones game?
No. Is it Lego? If it is, then I might be more excited.
It's not Lego. There's an Indiana Jones game coming. We're going to see some gameplay on, I think it's the 18th of January on Xbox Direct. And it's apparently the leaked title is going to be Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which as soon as I read that, I was like,
doesn't sound creative.
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, wow, that's really, that's the best you could come up with a title. Like even the Dial of Destiny sounds like a lot better than.
It sounds like the Dial of
Circle.
Destiny if they just forgot about the plot. I don't think they know what don't think they knew what the game was about when they made the title.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me at all. But yes, we're going to get some gameplay in the Indiana Jones game.
Hopefully, it looks good then.
Well, we've only got a teaser.
You know what I'm saying? That gameplay's gonna be very pivotal. Like I'll tell you, I don't love video games. But I do enjoy video games. Like if it is played well, like if it looks like it's a good play, then I might get it. So I'll tell you.
Well, I'll message you when the gameplay drops and see what you think. I'm curious to know how this is going to look and how it's going to act and is this going to be after
like if this is Spider-Man level? I'm down. I will be there. I will be there day one, or maybe day something very close to day one. If it's going to be like Tomb Raider, I might not be there at all, or Uncharted. I probably won't be there at all.
It'd probably be more like Uncharted, which I'm currently going through Spider-Man 2 at the moment, which is really
Spider-Man 2 is so good, man.
I'm up to Peter just got the Venom suit.
Oh, you're getting close. So see, I had to basically speed run through this game because I was on a very limited clock because it's going back to school and I had to finish it before because I wasn't going to get time. And I wanted to get through the story, and it was the fastest I've ever finished a video game. I finished in a week. Because I've never actually 100% completed a video game ever in my life, except for the first Lego Star Wars video game. So this is the first video game since then which I've completed 100%, which I'm very proud of. It's one of my greatest accomplishments. Yeah, I'm very bad at completing video games. I have every game I buy is just half done, and then I get bored and I move on.
That's I would complete the story, but unless it's got nothing else to it, then I'm just like, no, I'm done. I'll move on to the next thing.
Even the first Spider-Man game, I didn't complete 100%. There's still a few of the side missions I haven't done.
Yeah, there's a bunch. I will admit, I only played the Spider-Man game last month because number 2 came out. I'd slept on the Spider-Man game. I slept on it.
I got a PlayStation just for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Which a lot of people did, and I finished the game, and I was like, "Wow, this is really good." I'm like, "Why did I sleep on this? Why did I not pick this up sooner?" And I finished the Miles Morales one too, which I thought.
Yeah. I finished the main story for both those games too. Yeah.
I thought $50 for this, which could just been DLC.
Really? Well, that's what they do, though. They know you're going to pay for it, so they don't care. Although I got it as a bundle because I got my PlayStation, I got the two together.
That's right. I forgot they did the bundle that you could get both at the same time.
So that's what I did. So because I didn't have another PlayStation, because I know a lot of people had to get, because I think it was a PlayStation 5 exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. It was,
yeah. It's just
or maybe that was 2
exclusive. It's just PlayStation exclusive.
No, I'm saying I think 2 was a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and I think they initially released Miles Morales as a PlayStation 5 version and a PlayStation 4 version. So,
I can't remember actually. I
got a PlayStation 5, and then I got the 2 Spider-Man together, and then I played them.
Because
so I didn't actually spend more money on it.
I bought the Spider-Man game, and it only came in the PlayStation 4 version. I didn't buy the remastered edition. I was like, I don't need the remastered edition.
Well, because I had a PlayStation 5, so I was like, I'm not going to buy a PlayStation 4 copy of the game, right? So
fair call.
That's what I did.
Fair call. We've for Last of Us season 2, Catherine Dever has been cast as Abby for Last of Us Season
Dever.
2. Dever?
Caitlin Dever, yeah.
Yeah. Which this was a fan casting, wasn't it?
It was, and then it was the real casting. And also they cast I don't remember what her new name is, Isabel Mersad or whatever her name is.
Yep.
So they cast her in a role. I'll tell you. So with them getting cast in their respective roles, having no knowledge of The Last of Us, having not seen season 1, I'm gonna have to watch season 1 now.
I thought you had watched season 1.
Nope.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Don't
like video game stuff. Never cared about it. But because of them being cast in season 2, I will watch season 1 now.
I would highly recommend watching season 1. It was my top TV pick for last year.
Everyone keeps telling me to watch it. It's that and Invincible. Everyone keeps telling me to watch it.
Definitely watch Invincible, but I would say watch The Last of Us season 1 because for someone who's played the video game for only an hour, I never got really into it. The TV show was really good. It just shit me. It was on binge, which here in Australia, it's like the least streaming service that you use in this country. Yeah, which I do have to get to watch the Ted TV show.
I don't care for that show. I hated the movies too. Actually, one of the Ted movies was on TV a few weeks ago, and I was just not interested. I tried. I was like, maybe I'll get back. Maybe now I'm older, it'll be a little. No, it's still boring. I don't care.
Ted's humor is a hit and miss.
And it's not like it's not funny. It's just it's situational comedy, which I don't like any of the situations that they're in. And so I'm like, okay, who cares? I'm back to watching Kick-Ass.
God, I haven't watched that in ages, and that's such a good
film. The second one was on TV. I was like back in like they got robbed of a 3. I know we're getting like a reboot, whatever, but like I wanted an actual.
They should have got a third one.
That was such a good. Those 2 movies were spectacular. I believe both those are top tier cinema, but that's a conversation for another day.
It's true. Speaking of Pedro Pascal, apparently he has dropped out of an upcoming movie to star in the brand new Fantastic Four film, which is also going to be delayed again because Pedro Pascal is very sought out between The Last of Us and Mando. So Fantastic Four will be delayed again, which I think is the 3rd or 4th time that's been pushed back.
I mean, at this point, we'll get it in 2034.
Yep, all the way over there.
They'll end up getting it on a year at the end in a 4. It'll be 2034. Or maybe they'll end up getting it a 4044.
44. Oh, God, no.
4444, yeah.
It'd be like 60. 70. Something like that. But, yeah, that's... I think, we're obviously this year, Comic-Con or Disney 23, we're going to get the official announcement of the Fantastic Cast.
Don't hold your breath.
No, you don't think so?
I
think we will. I think this year I think either D23, whatever the last one is going to announce it.
We'll get it before that. That's my prediction, at least. Because this is the thing, Disney, as much as we probably know the cast at this point, or we have some idea of the cast, Disney's gonna want it. Like, this is the thing. As much as and Disney's initial plan, at least from my understanding, was to have that announced last year, right? Like their idea, but then obviously there's certain, very preventable things that went on, which greed prevented things from happening the way they're supposed to. Yes. And they couldn't cast people, which means that they couldn't actually, and I think what they want to do, they don't want it to be a leak. They don't want it to be a press release. They do want it to be I'm sure you remember this. I don't know if everyone watching remembers this, but when they had Loki or Tom Hiddleston walk onto the stage in that first Comic-Con Hall H panel as Loki, and everyone lost their minds, right? Like that video where he kind of walks on.
Say my name.
It's incredible. And I think they want that for the Fantastic Four. They want them to come out in costumes, and they want that to be the reveal. They're going to do everything they can and maybe it'll be Comic-Con, maybe it'll be a video thing before that, because they do not want it leaked. They want it to be, back before the internet when you could just have an announcement at a convention, or maybe they'll have to find an alternative way to do it.
Well, just like yourself, if you're at Hall H and you see Pedro Pascal come out and the rest of them say that this is the casting, you'll lose your effing mind. Especially if they really keep tight on it. Really keep tight on this announcement. And they need to. They really need to, because Marvel needs a win.
They have had lots of wins. They'll have a lot more wins. They don't need a win, but they need a PR win. I'll give you that.
Yes, they need a PR win.
But I don't think an announcement's going to do that. Can we just start with something else before we do this?
Yeah, what's up?
It's related. It's So John Bernthal's talking about the Punisher thing. I don't know if that's part of this, like the outline for this, but he said some things about Punisher, which I just got a notification for.
No, I didn't see that. What's up? You got live news?
Yeah, kind of live. I don't know how old it is, but John Bernthal says his return as the Punisher has to be right with, quote, real sacred integrity to the source material and to do what is at the core of Frank, end quote. Quote, I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure that and when we do it right, end quote. This is from Collider. It's posted by Discussing Film, so it's incredible.
Oh, well, I have no doubt that him, Charlie Cox, Viz D'Onofrio, that they really, going into this for Daredevil Born Again, are going to want to keep the integrity of their characters. They're obviously the legacy of their characters. Because now the Netflix shows are all canon. Not only is Daredevil canon, all of them are canon. Because if you go on Disney Plus, they've got the timeline.
Don't believe that.
No? You think only Daredevil's canon?
I still have my doubts with Daredevil being canon. I don't know if you can put stuff up on the screen that I'm sending, but I don't know if you want. I don't know if that's something you want to talk about, but that was a tweet, which might be related about future people. But I mean, I didn't want them back. They're back, so not much of a choice. But to be happy.
You didn't want them back?
No.
Then we lose.
We'll read the first tweet.
I'd say we'll probably end up seeing Ellie Young back as Elektra. Gabriel Luna's Ghost Rider 2. Okay, but hear me out. What if we don't? Then we are. So you don't want these characters to come back? Or you would rather them just be fresh?
I don't know. I don't think we need, do I think they can never come back? No. Do I think we need, there is almost this level of cult-like worship to characters who we've barely seen and who aren't pivotal to the story of any of these characters. Mm-hmm. And then the Elektra thing, I just don't care.
Elektra can't come back anyway. She's dead.
Well, not really. Never dead. No, there's no such thing as dying in Marvel. You know this. Come on. And also the multiverse now.
Well, that's me. It could be someone else, which we are meant to get Elektra in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, I mean, don't even. I don't even, man. I don't I mean, Diego Luna's, or not Diego Luna. That's the Star Wars guy. What the hell is his name? I don't remember. Gabriel Luna. Thank you. There you go. His Ghost Rider. It'll be fun, but who cares?
I'm on the belief that it would be that you're right. Not all these Netflix characters have to come back, because I would love.
Marvel recast people all the time.
Yeah, they do. Well, they're gonna do it with Kang.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna do it. They did it with Sentry to a little white kid.
No, Sentry's changed.
Yeah, to a little white kid. Did you not see the casting?
No.
It's some little white kid, yeah.
Am
I just breaking all your news for you now?
No. I haven't seen anything about the new Sentry. All I've seen is Sentry. Obviously Stephen Yen leaving. That's it.
No, there was the credible leak yesterday that Who is it? Let's see. Austin Abrams.
Oh, that's right. Austin Abrams has been offered the part.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at his IMDb, I'll tell you, he's not turning it down.
Yeah, I was gonna say Austin. Who? Austin.
Euphoria.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Euphoria. And then look, if it was me, if I was a young actor and they came up to me and was like, "Oh, I got this role," I'd be like, "Yep."
Well, you have to. It's stupid if you don't.
If you say no, anything else, I'd be like, "No, I'm doing this." 100%.
Yeah, you're doing a superhero role.
Well, you're telling me I'm going to be the Superman in the MCU kind of role? Done. Deal. I'm in.
Yeah, he's not saying no to that. Also, his character was kind of an ass on Euphoria, so it's okay. He wasn't an ass. He was a good person, but like he was just kind of annoying.
Well, that's good for someone 27 years old too.
Yeah, he's gonna say yes. He's got nothing coming up. Look at his IMDb page. He's got nothing. He's good. There's no possible way there could be scheduling conflicts.
Nah, just take the part, man. It'd be the best thing you do. The only shit thing is you're gonna have to read up real quick. Real quick on the script and the character. You know
what's deeply unfortunate though? Everyone on the internet's gonna think they won. All those stupid right-wing trolls are gonna think they won, and that pisses me off so much. Like that's the worst part. The worst part of this is that, and also it gives credence. I don't know if you saw the reel I posted from my What If review, my conspiracy about Marvel. It just kind of puts more credence on that, if we're being honest.
No, what was the reel about?
It's basically Marvel's racist, and wait, I gotta explain. Okay, so
explain.
And I was gonna bring this up in Echo, but this works too. Basically, whenever they have a character, right, who's from a non-white background, they always have their powers come from some deep cultural family heritage, which sounds great, and it is great often. However, when you look at that and then you look at the number of characters, and you're like, wait a second. If, look at Kamala Khan, right? If her powers come from her deep family cultural heritage, that means that people who look like her, how many of them could possibly be superheroes how many of them can have the same power from the same source? You know what I mean? Look at Black Panther, look at Shang-Chi, look at Echo, look at I do not remember the What If character, then the Mohawk character from What If, the one they introduced.
Shit. Yep.
But you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
I just don't want to I can see the name, I just don't want to say it wrong.
Yep, I can see it too.
So I just want to be. I don't want to be.
Thank you.
If I say it wrong, but
thank you.
Yeah, I can see the name. That's not the issue. There's just they can't say it without like feeling racist. So but like that. My point is that these characters, they all have the same thing in common, and some of them have been changed from the comics that they have this in common, and then it makes you wonder. Okay, well, what do you do? And then they do something like this where they could have had a character who was not white playing a like non, deep cultural roots. And then it's like, nope, now we're going to have someone white doing it. And it's like, okay, well, you're just proving my point that you're secretly racist. And you're trying to put a ceiling on how many characters from certain, groups you could have. But,
secretly racist. Jesus. I can't say I can see the racism, but I do know what you mean, that all the deep heritage in every single character, the non-white.
Which is great, but the problem is that you're kind of inadvertently limiting the number of, giving yourself a way out of having more diversity, right? You're kind of giving yourself an out. They're saying, well, if Kamala has this, her powers come from her family history, how many people of her race, right, or of her religion could have their family have powers, right? Well, on the other hand, on the white hand, it's like a spider bit you. It's not really, unless you listen to the Amazing Spider-Man movies, like it's not really anything family related, right? Or it's like as much as like I had a rich father and that's why I, am who I am, right? Like
I am Iron Man.
Well, that's my point, right? Or Captain America, just like I got injected super soldier serum. Nothing to do with my culture, my family. It was just some needle that went in me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah. You had circumstance is probably not the right word I'm looking for, but like, you know, you could have been.
It's just
if you-
random events which make you superhero versus having basically being destined
Yeah.
to be a superhero, and it's like
Yeah.
it's white people versus not white people.
Yeah, if someone else was standing in Peter's position when the spider came down, boom, it would have happened to somebody else.
By the way, it happened to Miles in the comics, and we haven't seen that in the movies yet. So, you know.
No, hopefully Spider-Man 4. But before, like, we'll dive more into that. This is probably something that has been a lot of fans were annoyed about and vocal about the fact that
The same
Foggy
people
and
who are
Karen-
angry that Sentry was not white, but yeah. Those are the people who are the angriest about this, but it's okay.
Foggy and Karen were not returning for Daredevil Born Again.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it's reported that they are indeed coming back. And an interesting report I did also see is that they're going to break Daredevil Born Again into 2 parts. They're going to do the Netflix thing.
Which, by the way, the way they were, I don't know if you remember how they were going to release it, but that was stupid.
Well, it's going to be 18 episodes long.
Well, it was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be 24 episodes, every episode weekly, which when you just think about it is kind of ridiculous because I know that's how cable works, but you can't with the way Marvel releases stuff, you're going to have so many conflicts, and Daredevil's going to win every single one of those, and including, by the way, opening weekends of movies. So, you know, you do not want to do that, and I think they realize, okay, we can't just have 24 straight weeks of this because either people get tired of it or it's going to affect other stuff that we try to release.
So do you think they'll like drop 9 in March and 9
they'll do the
September?
Stranger Things thing. I think they'll do the Stranger Things thing, and they'll maybe even put more of a gap between it.
So drop 9 in October, then drop 9 in July.
Yeah. They'll just wait till they have gaps where they would have, instead of having 2 TV shows, then you just have part 2 of 1 TV show.
Yeah, that would be,
I think they should do it in more, for being honest. I think they should do it in drops of 6 episodes, but 6 weeks break, 6 weeks break.
Because I did recently just had the Sisters Assembled on my podcast, and we did talk about they're so good, and we did talk about like if they did was it 19 episodes long of Daredevil. I'm like, geez, that's a lot of weeks in a row that you're just covering Daredevil.
By the way, that's how it was like with cable, right? It was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? That was how it was. It was weeks and months. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't think that worked, which is why they moved away from the cable model. Also, outside of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even then was split into multiple little mini arcs, right? And then you look at the CW stuff, which was the long, drawn out stuff, which was the most infuriating thing ever. It also was very boring. I was bored after 1 season.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. But are you happy that Foggy and Karen are back?
I don't care.
Okay, that's fair.
I need to see the show. I can't get excited about this kind of thing because if they could have done it better without them being there, then I don't want them there.
You haven't seen Daredevil.
That's what I'm saying though. Until I see the show, I can't have an opinion or I can't care about it one way or the other.
You should watch the Daredevil TV show. It's really good.
I know. I've seen the initial show. I'm saying I haven't seen the new show.
Okay.
I've seen Born Again. I don't think you've seen Born Again either.
No, but no, I thought you hadn't seen the original Daredevil.
No, of course I've seen Daredevil.
I swear you have.
Yeah, I have. I'm saying I haven't seen the new show, and I said I don't know if it seems like they wanted to tell a story without them in it, and then they felt pressured to put them in it. It's gonna feel weird. I'm gonna say don't have them in it, right? Like if Daredevil moves somewhere else, and then it's like, well, they also followed him because they're adults who can't make their own decisions. Then I'm just gonna be sitting there saying, well, why?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Do you think that they've come on board now because of the creative restructure the show went through? Like originally they weren't coming back and now they are.
So I don't think they were originally not coming back. I think originally they weren't going to be mainstays in the show. They were just going to be kind of like, I think from what I understand, Daredevil was just going to move somewhere, and then Foggy would still be doing his law stuff, and Karen would be with him, and they would just be over there, and they would I don't think they'd be against coming back for an episode. I think they've changed some of their ideas for structural reasons, but also stupid reasons, because I don't think I think the structural stuff needed to be changed because we saw how badly that went. You don't need to I maybe it's because I'm also kind of annoyed that they decided to change it from what was supposed to be a legal procedural drama to being more of the Netflix stuff, which is, I was more excited for the new stuff than I don't want to see the same stuff on TV. God damn.
I'm hoping it's going to be a blend. I'm hoping they're going to blend it between the action and the legal stuff together. They have to. If it's going to be 18 episodes long, they can't.
Trust me, they don't.
Surely, have hope.
No, I don't know. I can't trust anything because 90% of the time, the people on the internet complaining about something are probably wrong.
That's true.
Often they turn out to be wrong.
Usually,
not even us though. It's the certain segment of people who have very not even story-driven motives for complaining about things, who have this view of how characters are supposed to be because that's what they saw them once. When in reality, the general logic is you don't know what you want till you get it.
Mm.
And Marvel's been very successful, by the way, with giving people what they want, even if they don't know they want it.
Well, did you know?
Examples of that.
Did you know you want Echo when they announced this?
No, and I'll tell you, I'm glad we got it. Somewhat glad we got it.
When this first got announced, I remember looking and going, "What the hell is this? Why are we getting this?" I was like, "Why are we getting a spin-off from the Hawkeye TV show?" Which I predicted was going to be shit, and I was wrong. And after I watched the Hawkeye TV show, I was like, I'm all in for Echo now. And I'm all in the fact that the Kingpin's going to be the villain and Daredevil. And
one episode. Let's calm down.
I know. That was probably one of the biggest surprises. I'm like, you were pumping that Daredevil was going to be in this, and he's in for 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Can I tell you a story about the show first? A story about my experience of the show.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask, what was your initial reactions to this?
Well, so at around 12 hours ago when you texted me, are you done yet?
Yeah, you finished. You done?
I hadn't started it. I was just starting it when you texted me. Proceed to binge the 6 episodes or 5 episodes, whatever it was.
I was going to say, if you went to 6, I'm curious to know what the 6th one you watched.
In my mind, someone said there were 6 episodes, and so I just kind of stuck in my head, even though I only watched 5. But I binged all the episodes basically over the few hours after you texted me. Because I forgot to watch the show because when we recorded yesterday, I had told Michael I have not seen the show yet, and so between then and now, I have seen the entire show, mainly because I'll be honest, I wasn't going to watch it. Initially, I was going to watch it because I heard so many mixed things about it. I was like, I don't want to waste my time watching this thing. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, I'm glad you did.
I'm glad I did too. And it was great.
Well, I completely agree with you. The fact that it was a bit nervous going into this because I think it was meant to come out earlier last year. Then there was the rumor, the fact that there was a rumor that they were just going to write it off. Then there was another rumor that they are just dumping it all in 5 episodes just to get rid of it. They're not doing it in a normal fashion. And I actually found it quite refreshing having all the episodes in one go.
No, I hate it. I never want them to do that again, ever.
No?
If they do it, I'm just not going to watch it. Like if they ever make me binge something and I'm not watching it. I only will binge this for you. I'm not. I hate binging. I refuse to do it. If they make me do it again, I'm not doing it. I don't care what it is. I hate binging. I hate when you drop shows like that.
Why do you like binging?
I don't have the attention span I can't sit through a 3-hour movie. I definitely can't sit through 6 hours of TV. And because I like to, I talk about it, I have to actually watch it all. I can't just pace out a week for me if it's out for everybody for a week, right? Like, because these sickos who like binging things are going to be sitting there for the 6 hours from the time it drops till it's done, or whatever amount of hours, depending on the length of the show, watching it. So that means I have to do that, and I hate doing that. So that's kind of how it ends up being.
No, and look, like I can't argue with that in the sense that this was 40 episodes, 40 minutes per episode. So you're seeing, pumping out about 5 hours straight watching this, which is just one episode. And if you watch the Snyder cut, you're pretty much good.
I didn't do that in one sitting either.
I did, and God, that was a long afternoon.
I don't have that kind of. I can't do that.
So,
I hate long things.
Fair. So, when you finished the series? What was your first thoughts?
Everyone on the internet lied to me, and I'm very angry.
Oh, the internet lied to me. Well, that's going to happen more often than you think.
Yeah, I tweeted very angrily at the internet. I was like, you guys all lied to me. I'm very angry at you. Because everyone told me this was a slow show. It was a bad show. They said it was boring. They said it was unnecessary. So I went into it and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to watch this. It's going to probably be the most boring thing. I'm probably have to split it up because as it is, I hate binging things. Now you're making me watch a boring show too. I'm not going to be able to do this. And I enjoyed every second of it. I thought it was good. I thought it was compact. It wasn't too much. It was probably the best 6-episode show they've ever, or 5-episode show they've ever done. Like any of the short shows, like obviously Secret Invasion was screwed up massively at the end. This was the best ending they had. People complained about the fact they did a Hawkeye recap, which is like 10 minutes. Like people are complaining too much on the internet, and they need to stop.
I did see that about the Hawkeye thing too, and I thought, well,
it was 10 minutes.
It was 10 minutes long, and Hawkeye came out 2 years ago.
I forgot that Hawkeye was the reason that she was motivated to do what she was doing. I completely forgot that part.
That's why you have the recap.
That's why I was there.
But I didn't think the recap was that bad. It was such. It's funny me watching this show because I thought this is really weird that I'm seeing Hawkeye, I'm seeing Kingpin, I'm seeing Daredevil all in one go. I'm like, it's something I didn't think I'd be ever watching.
And by the way, Echo is still the star of the show. Like the cameos didn't take away from Echo.
No,
because oftentimes you see shows where, and there's a certain show I'm gonna bring up in a minute with my big brain take, which I made a reel for, which I didn't post because I wanted to say it here first. There's some shows where cameos can kind of ruin the main character getting their story and getting their shine because everyone just focuses on the cameos. This show did what it wanted to do, did it successfully, and it was fun. And didn't ruin the main character. So it was great. And
they didn't take away. Oh, we've also got Bendigo, 2360, a good TV show. It was
a great TV show, I would say.
My initial thoughts when I finished watching this, I was like, this was a great start for Marvel 2024 because you're right. Nothing felt too long. Nothing felt stretched. Didn't have that lull moment in nearly every TV show where you're like,
it didn't have the terrible ending either, which Marvel was more prone to.
No, it didn't. It didn't have a terrible ending, which I do have a question for that at the end, the after credit scene, which we'll get into.
Wait, what?
I do
There's
have
an end credit scene?
Huh?
Wait, there's an end credit scene? Did I miss that?
There's an after credit scene. It even gives you the option on Disney Plus to go back and watch it.
Give me a third. Okay, keep talking. Keep going.
After you finish episode 5, it says skip to credits. I'm like, I've never seen that button before. Really? I've never seen something say skip to credits, which it goes straight to the after credit scene.
Okay, keep talking.
No, and I think it didn't have that lull point. They've done this. Every episode was solid, and I don't mind that they did the full dump. And the main, Maya Lopez, Echo, she nailed this. She absolutely nailed this, even though all the sign language and everything, great. And she even said in the interview that the whole production team or everyone close to the production team all learned sign language for her and everybody around, which is, I think, a great effort that they all did that for her. Well, what are you laughing about? What are you laughing about? What are you laughing about?
This is the live reaction to the end credit scene, by the way.
Oh, okay. And this is her only 2 roles too. She's only been in Echo and Hawkeye, and she's now both out of the park. What?
Kingpin is mayor. What?
Yeah. Yes, for everyone who's watching and listening, he's just watched the.
I just saw the end credit scene. You got my live reaction to the end credit scene.
I gotta snip that now. That's a reel right there.
Like, wow, that was beautiful.
I loved how you didn't see it.
Well, because I didn't get that far in the credits, the point where the skip to credits option popped up.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, man. That was my question about it. He was like, I saw it. I was like, okay, cool. He's going to be mayor, but didn't we already get the mayor? Didn't you already try and be mayor in the Daredevil TV show? Remember,
this is different though. It's the real Marvel. Look, this is the thing. You can't
do
this.
Real
Okay?
Marvel.
You can't do this because you know you're gonna get. They're not gonna follow everything one for one. One of the reasons I didn't want them to bring back the characters that some of the other side characters. They're going to do their own thing. They're going to go through some of these story arcs that they want to go through. That's just how it is. And it's going to probably be done better than anything Netflix did with Daredevil or with Kingpin. I'll be honest with you. Okay, that's not true. Kingpin season 1 was elite, but they're going to give us more Kingpin, and they're going to give us more of a true comic version of Kingpin, which we didn't get in Daredevil.
No,
which is good.
No,
we got a good character, but we didn't get comic Kingpin, which was kind of a guy who has superpowers, right?
Well, he does have superpowers because he took a bullet to the face. And
no, I'm saying in the Netflix show we didn't get that. We didn't get Kingpin, the real supervillain Kingpin. We got the more guy who's big and is also a little bit strong.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Not imposing, huge. Like a comics. No, we didn't. And if he's going to go be mayor, I think that come on, you're gonna be mayor, Born Again, Spider-Man, Kate Bishop. There is just so much to play with here. So much to play with.
Also, So I have this love for Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. The reason I love it is because
I'm really curious to know how this ties into.
Yeah, don't worry, it's all connected. So Star Wars: The Phantom Menace does something, and also Star Wars Bloodline, the book. Oh, that's the best Star Wars book they've ever written. Do you know why? Because it does something which I love. They go into the nitty gritty of local politics or global politics in the Phantom Menace. In Bloodlines, it's all about Leia trying to get back to status and kind of try to control this new republic. I'll tell you, the nitty gritties of political campaigns and all that stuff is exactly what I want from Daredevil. So give me that for Kingpin. I am all here for it. The little manipulation of society in order to get to the point he wants. I love all that stuff. I am a nerd, so I am fully on board with this. Give it all to me. I will take. If you're getting rid of the legal stuff from Daredevil, give me the stuff.
I would, yes. I want to see that. We get the legal Kingpin rise to being mayor. I agree with you. That stuff's going to be it's going to be refreshing.
And Daredevil trying to take him down with his legal knowledge. I'm telling you, it's going to be something. Ooh, what if Foggy ran for mayor against Daredevil or against Kingpin?
Well, we've slowly seen that in Daredevil. That he was
I can't just
mayor. Okay, all right. I'll ignore the Daredevil TV show.
Thank you.
That would be good if we got Foggy trying to do it once again. That would be good. But there's just so much to play. But going back to Echo, this as I said, I think Emma Cox, she's done a great job. Her performance was really good. Performance was good, and honestly, I didn't mind. It was for me. It was almost watching a dub TV show, trying to do the subtitles in the eye, trying to read.
So you know what I did, which I think I've actually started doing more, and I think is one of the best features. And what I think I'll tell you, like initially it bothered me. Now it doesn't at all, and actually it's so much better for something like this where I like doing other things while watching shows. I turn on the audio description. I'll tell you, it makes the show so much better. Like if you turn on audio description, like even if you just go back and you just watch like the beginning of it with audio description, I'll tell you, it is such a good experience because you don't have to actually do any of that pesky reading, which I like.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
Because like what I started doing it for sitcoms, right? Like if I was watching a sitcom and doing other stuff and I wasn't like looking at my screen, because like sometimes I'll put something on while I'm in the background while I'm doing something. And with sitcoms, I would just turn it on audio description, right? And it just tell me what's going on. So I don't have to actually see it and I can still kind of get the same, general experience, right? And so I just had them on because I was watching Family Guy or something and it was already set to audio description. I started watching Echo with it and I'm like, damn, this is really good. It doesn't bother. It feels like it might bother you. It doesn't at all. And then also they tell you things that you can be half awake and watching Echo at 7 a.m. and it's not even like I'm half awake. Yeah. I'm like I got to get through this thing, and I'm like half like lying in my bed listening to it and as a podcast, while also like glancing over at my phone every once in a while to see like what's actually going on. It's a great experience right there. You know what? If they have audio description, maybe binging is something I can do. Maybe.
Oh, I haven't tried that. I'll have to give it a crack.
I love it. I think it's great. I think they need to do it more, and I think they can. If you do it well, it can really enhance a show. And I think it should be something we normalize for TV, which is audio description being common and normal. Because I hate subtitles, but I don't love like when in other languages I don't like subtitles, but I do like when people tell me what it's supposed to say.
Yeah. I know it gets a little bit like that. How do you feel? Because obviously this show is on the very first Marvel Spotlight banner, which is meant to be Marvel.
Took me a second to realize what it actually meant, but yeah. Marvel
Knights. How do you feel about the brutality that we got in this? Do you think it was just enough?
At this point, who cares? Like I know you're asking these for a reason. I think my mentality is like people like there's so much discourse on the internet, right? About, oh my God, is Marvel showing enough people getting stabbed or not? And that determines the quality of the project. And I'm like, who cares? If it works with the story, cool. If not, it doesn't, whatever.
Oh, no. What I mean is like, I understand that, but I mean like, I found it refreshing in the Marvel TV show. I'm like, yes, I want to see more of this. I want to see more of them. If fitting in the context of what's happening,
but
like
it's
for example,
story. Do you want Spider-Man stabbing people? No. Like I just think people have kind of like and I know you're not saying it like this, but I think the plot gets lost when we talk about minuscule and frankly irrelevant things in the grand scheme of things, which is, was there enough people bleeding out to death on screen or not? Like maybe it's refreshing, maybe it isn't. Like it just feels like it's something that people pretend to have this strong opinion about, when in reality, if at the same time, if Spider-Man starts stabbing people, they're going to complain. So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't need to see it in Spider-Man. I just want to see it. I just want to see it be more tasteful in the MCU.
I haven't found, there's never been a point in Marvel where I'm like, you know what, they could have used more of people bleeding to death on screen. Like, I've never thought that personally. Maybe you have, but I've never thought that.
I'll be honest, I've only thought of it once.
Okay.
I've only thought of it once. I'm like, there should be a little bit more blood. Is Wolverine in the first few X-Men films? I'm like, surely.
But that's not. I'm saying MCU. I'm talking about the MCU.
Yeah, but like, MCU. Yeah, well, obviously, every time we see blood, it's usually just been either alien blood or we got. Oh, actually, no, I lied. We did get blood in Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and again, the fact that we're counting when we see blood, you know what? The same thing. And I don't remember. There's a discourse of this a while back, but it was about the swearing, right? Because it kind of became a joke. The fact that they would either cut off swear words, that they did with with Aunt May and with Nick Fury.
Mother.
Or Aunt May finding out about Peter being Spider-Man at the end of that.
Oh, that's right.
Like they do that one. And then they were doing that. Then they would do the one swear word, right? Because they'd have one swear word before we push up to an R rating, and so you'd always like everyone would be predicting where the swear word would be, right? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, again, I mean, I understand the studio does think about this, but like as an audience, we don't need to think about this. Why? Because if it doesn't work, we can say it doesn't work. There's never been a point where I'm like, Marvel characters need to swear more.
Do you think it worked in Guardians of the Galaxy?
It was fine. Like, again, it's not something I hold a very deep opinion about because I've never, until the internet says it, I've never said, hey, did they swear at the right point in this movie? That's not how I want to analyze a movie. Did they swear at the right point? Like, it's dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. You're right. Like, you shouldn't have overanalyze it. In that
it just feels like the wrong thing to talk about with this thing. Is not was the blood good or not. It's more of like, because one thing which I wanted to bring up to you, because you like Star Wars, right? And you've obviously seen Star Wars, and you've seen specifically the Book of Boba Fett, right? And this is the better version of what I was hoping the Book of Boba Fett would be, right? Because when I say the cameos did take away from the actual show. Well, the Book of Boba Fett definitely it did, right? And I think people are going to act like, blood was the difference between Echo and the Book of Boba Fett. When I'll tell you, that is the most mind-numbing of analysis that you could possibly do, which is there was more blood in this, and therefore it was better. Is not the analysis, right? The story was better told, and so we can't just chalk it up to this was good because there was blood.
No,
I think my frustration.
No, I get that. I do what you mean. Like it shouldn't be. It should be spotlighted. It shouldn't be spotlighted. No pun intended. On what makes it great to what should be shit.
That's not analysis. They're just saying something. It's not like it's so dumb.
I just think coming off the back of Secret Invasion, no Loki. I liked that this show was a bit more brutal. That we got that more of that. They're pulling punches, cracking necks, and people were dying left, right, and center. And you're right, Kingpin. They used just enough of Kingpin in this, and Kingpin didn't take away from anything. He was good in this, and I love the connection between him and Maya Lopez. I thought that daughter and father aspect was really good. I liked the town, the culture. How did you like that she's got powers? Oh no, sorry, that scene at the end. To her
culture.
No, that scene at the end where her multiple generations of culture, and then she gave her powers to Bonnie and her grandma,
who are also related to her, which I think people forget, because they're all directly related to her, and therefore that whatever is in her is also in them. It's not complicated. I saw a tweet about this, and I was like, it's not that complicated. It's not, wokeness or whatever they want to call it. It's just they're actually blood relatives, and so they can get the powers. That's how it works. Like she's not special. It's just she's in more crisis situations where they manifest, right, or whatever. Like they're all related to her, and so they're like I don't. But I mean, I thought it was cool.
Get the powers.
Yeah, like we saw her grandmother have the powers. It's not like she did, like they literally show us her having the powers in a crisis situation. It just so happens that Echo's in more crisis situations than anybody else. Also, I love the way they kind of explained the name Echo and they gave her student stuff. By the way, they've just basically taken all of Elektra's stuff here, and I'm fine with that. Like, why do we need Elektra back if we have Echo?
True. As soon as the grandma did say, it's like, oh, it echoes. I was like, there it is.
It was the mother who said that.
It was the mother. No, it was her grandma.
Mother. No, it was the dead mother in the vision is when she said, oh, you're echoes of all of us.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's right. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. I watched this again a few hours ago. I'm very fresh.
No, that's all right. No, you're right. Because I do like that. I was like, that's where it is. That's where it all comes from. And right now, we have no idea where she's going to appear again next. Let alone if I didn't think it was confirmed that she was going to appear in that.
If I had to put, I would put a significant amount of money on that.
She would have to appear in Daredevil Born Again, but there's no official thing that she's part of the cast.
Yeah, she's. You and I both know she's appearing in Daredevil.
So you're happy to see more of this character?
I'll tell you again. I thought because like Book of Boba Fett was and I know I'm talking about Star Wars here, but it was the most excited I've been for a Star Wars thing in a long time. And I'll tell you, they really fell flat on their face. And I'll tell you, this show did the opposite of that. It was something I went into with very low expectations, and it was like, this is what I've been wanting with the Book of Boba Fett. And now, can I undercut my entire argument I've made with one point?
Go.
Okay, the best image in this entire show was the scene where he beats up the ice cream man and he's standing covered in blood and he's like trying to get his jacket changed, right? And then Echo comes out and sees the man, kicks him a few times, and then they walk off holding hands as his jacket is covered in blood. So as much as I said everything about the blood thing, that is also the best image I've gotten from a Marvel show. And so I also think, but that's different because that's like actual imagery. It's not just, oh, I saw someone bleed. But yeah.
Yes. I was expecting that either. I was expecting her to kick him too. I was like, oh, she's probably going to be shocked and walked off. No, she goes kicking him hard.
Which I think kind of speaks to, like, again, her relationship with him, which I think explains, like, that is something where you kind of have to do that to set up what ends up being a very important relationship for her, right? Which she doesn't want to kill him. I don't think she wanted to kill him when she shot him. I don't think she wanted to, like, she never wanted to kill him. She never wanted to hurt him. She wanted to believe he was a good person, which is very interesting because we know, like, this is the best Marvel villain, right? Thanos, Kingpin, Loki. They everyone believes, and everyone is trying to, like, believe that they are good inside, but they're just evil. Like, that is how you make a good villain. They do it and they know how to do it clearly, but they just can't seem to consistently do it. Everyone in that show was telling you Kingpin is a good person. He is trying his best. He is doing everything he can. But in reality, when you're sitting there watching that show, what do you see? You see some psychopath beating to death an ice cream man who, granted, was not a good person, but definitely did not deserve to get beat to death.
No. And like that. It's like, I'm not gonna serve this kid. I don't know what she's saying. Next minute.
Which again, like, is he a good person? No,
no,
he's
not.
But that's the thing, and that's why I'm saying, like, that you saw this with Thanos, right? Like, everyone in, to some extent or another, is trying to make him see, to some extent, like, this guy is like some real, there's some real something to him, substance, of some good substance, right? He's really trying to do the right thing, but in reality, all you see is him committing genocide, right? Like, it's
no,
this is the image. But with blood.
Yeah, a lot more blood. No, and with him going to go try and be mayor, that's just going to open so much of that dynamic because he got.
And also, he said, "I want to see all the other heads. I want all the heads assembled of the hand." Right. So
that's right, the hand. I forgot.
He mentioned that at the beginning of the end credit scene.
That's right.
So we might get some more of them. Just don't bring back Jessica Jones or Luke Cage, and I'll be happy.
Why? Why do you like Jessica Jones? She was hot.
Luke Cage. I don't. The story reasons for bringing a character back should not be because they're attractive. I will say that.
Yes, that's very true.
Also, the only shows I never watched were Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, and so if they don't bring them back, that means I don't have to watch them.
I didn't watch Luke Cage. I didn't watch Iron Fist. I didn't watch Defenders. I watched season 1 of Jessica Jones. I got 2 or 3 episodes in season 2 of Jessica Jones, and I got bored.
I watched half of this first season of Punisher. I watched all of Iron Fist because I loved Iron Fist.
I watched season 1 of Punisher, and I only watched a couple episodes of Punisher season 2, and I got.
But again, the less these characters they bring back, the less I have to go watch these things that I just skipped and never had to. Suffer consequences for because they became irrelevant very quickly.
That's true. Well, it works. It works in another way is that if Marvel brings back these characters, we don't have to get rehashed of, Punisher's like Punisher because his family died. Blah blah blah. At least they can just get straight into it. Like we don't need a retelling again.
Well, the other thing is they brought them all to Disney Plus, so it's not like they're giving Netflix money from bringing them back, which I think was part of. Is part of a potential reason why you wouldn't want to do it, and now that's not a problem. So,
No, let's go back. How do you? So, if you, this is the first one. If we're comparing this to last year's Disney Plus TV shows, where would you rank this with Secret Invasion, Loki? Where would you put it overall?
Were those only 2 from last year? You have to tell me all the ones from last year so I can like be accurate. I know What If was there.
What If season
I guess
2?
Was that the start of? Did that bleed into 2024?
No, it finished. What If season 2? I think started on the 22nd and it finished on the 28th or something.
Okay, so it was not okay. So What If, Secret Invasion, what was the other? Loki season 2. Was that it?
Give me 2 seconds and I will tell you.
Was the werewolf one or the?
So last year we got Secret Invasion, Loki, What If. That was it. Secret Invasion.
Are you sure that werewolf one wasn't that year?
No, werewolf was last year. Sorry, it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Because I remember
all the time is bleeding together.
Yeah, I know. Because I remember we got nothing for Halloween. Oh, section no, sorry. I remember because last year's Halloween they re-released it in color.
I thought they did that this year. Are you sure that was last year?
This 2023 they did. 2022 it came out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's why I was thinking they re-released it. Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
So where would you chuck Echo?
It's worse than Loki season 2. It's probably on par with What If. It's better than Secret Invasion. Yeah.
Yeah. I would put it.
It's in the middle.
It's in the middle for me. I enjoyed it a whole lot more than Secret Invasion, but Loki was a lot higher for me.
Loki's not that much higher for me, but
that's the conversation for another day. But next up after Echo, we have, which currently has no release date at this stage, is Agatha Darkhold Diaries.
Which you've been on my podcast and we've talked about this one in depth. So I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna say too much about my theories on that one, but I think actually we might get What If season 3 honestly before anything else.
We could. There's meant to be
because I think it's done.
What If season 3, Eyes of Wakanda, Marvel Zombies, and there's a 4th show we are meant to be getting. Oh, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Those are the 4 animated shows we're meant to get this year.
I don't know if any of those are coming out. But the thing about animated shows is they can be made without anyone knowing they're being made. I don't care. I don't want that Spider-Man one. They can take that back.
No, thank
that
you.
Looks disgusting.
No, thank you.
I don't need the. I mean, whatever with Marvel Zombies. I'm curious about What If season 3 now. And Agatha, if my theory's right, then give it to me. If not, take it. You can take it back too. All I want this year from Marvel after this is Deadpool, and then I can just. And then give me 2025, and then hopefully give me something good. I don't think Blade's there anymore, so. Yeah.
Same man. I'm so ready for Deadpool 3, Deadpool No Way Home. I am so up for it, and I think that I'm guessing, we're all pretty much predicted that we'll probably get the teaser trailer for it at the Super Bowl this year.
Has Disney bought advertising? I don't think we know if Disney's bought advertising for the Super Bowl yet.
Don't know, but that'd be the best time for them to do it. At least a small teaser.
Because
Deadpool 3 is coming out in July.
I think we'll get one before February.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Deadpool 3, end of July.
Yeah, we'll get one before that.
Do you think just like a logo or like a poster?
No, we'll get a trailer. We'll get a teaser trailer before that.
Sucks that we were meant to get that. Oh, no. Sucks that we were meant to get it last year. But now we're getting it this year. But it doesn't matter.
I think we'll get it in the next... We'll get it before... Yeah, we'll get it in the next week or so. That's my prediction.
I'll hold you. If we do, I'll be like, but God damn, he was right. God damn it.
If not, If they don't do it before the beginning of February, then I think they'll wait the week. I do, however, have a good, strong feeling that we're going to get it very, very soon.
I have to at least. I'd say at least a poster. At least give us a poster for it.
And honestly, I don't think it's out of the possibility that they don't even give us something until like mid-February, end of February, like after the Super Bowl. Like we could, I mean, that would, because this is the thing with Deadpool you have to remember is it's a big enough brand to sell itself where you don't even have to really advertise it that far in advance, and you're going to be fine. Like they could start advertising it in May, and they're going to make probably more money than they would have made, or the same amount of money they would have made if they advertised in February.
That's
like
true.
We could, like, actually, I think it's probably more likely we don't get anything till after the Super Bowl than we get anything at the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that's true because this is the only Marvel movie this year, so the hype's increased even more.
Yeah, like I'll tell you,
it's going to bring in the drove. It's going to bring in the.
Well, I was going to say if I could put money on the fact that it's either before or after, but not at the Super Bowl, I would take the before or after because I don't think it's. I don't think they're going to advertise. They're not going to do it. They don't like buying advertising like that. It's a waste of money.
They did last year for Secret Invasion. Oh, I guess the Secret Invasion was more niche.
Brand, right? Because they did it obviously for Endgame. They didn't need to do it for Endgame. They chose to do it because they felt like since Endgame they haven't done it. There'll be multiple Super Bowls since Endgame. And Secret Invasion, I guess they did, but I don't count that. Like I count movies only. And Deadpool's a big enough brand. And I don't think that was the first I don't think that was the first Endgame trailer either. I think it was the second one, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was the second fuller trailer that got dropped.
Yeah, but either way, like you don't need it. Deadpool's a brand; it's not an issue. I would again. I feel very strongly that they won't do it. I don't think they should do it. I think it's such an insane waste of money. If anything, if I'm not mistaken, ABC does the Oscars anyways. Who cares? Just drop it then. March. Plus, ESPN does. I'm pretty sure ESPN does March Madness. So you can drop in the national championship game there. Like if you want to do it at something Disney owned. Don't do it at a Fox owned thing. Like why would you? Because Fox Sports is still not Disney, right? So why would you give someone else money for when you could you could drop it on Twitter and get the same amount of response and reach?
Yeah, if you could just drop it on your own product anyway, it's not going to cost you.
Well, if you want to put it in a TV slot, which again I don't understand why, but if they did, then they've got the Oscars, they've got the March Madness national championship game, right? Like they're not hurting for Disney branded things. Like why would you drop it? Why would you pay money? I mean, again, I'm sure you know, but like the amount of money it costs to buy a 30-second ad slot during the Super Bowl is frankly not worth it.
No.
So.
Well, that was my. Now that you've mentioned it, probably not. But yeah, the Super Bowl just seemed to me like the perfect time for them to drop the trailer. But
it is if it didn't cost so much money, right? But that's the thing. It's like you're always thinking about if you think with the money, marketing wise, sure, whatever. But if you think with the money part, it's like, what benefit is there? Is there anyone who watches the Super Bowl who would be more interested in watching Deadpool now or after than before, or who wouldn't be able to see the trailer later? Like, the reach is not significant. So,
well, no, because they've removed everything. Now this is even more hyped again.
And it's Deadpool. It's going to make money. Who cares? It's
going to make a shit ton of money because you got Hugh Jackman coming back and the TVA and everything in this.
Well, we don't know about that. We just assume that. But yeah. All you need is Deadpool and you're going to get it. So that's, again, that's
Deadpool and Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. That's why I would push back on the Super Bowl thing because it's a waste of money when it's a brand like Deadpool. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I can see what you mean. Do you... Yeah, any final words for Echo though?
Echo's great. I think people are wrong, and I think they should be more open-minded to Marvel's greatness. Marvel's never made a bad piece of content, and they won't continue to. Except for What If Season 1, that was a disaster.
No, that's it wasn't that bad.
It was terrible.
Season 2 was a lot better.
So much better.
But look, I agree with you. Echo is an absolute win. That was good. It's solid. There's no low points. I think people agree with you are wrong, or they're just like, oh, this is just another shit, Marvel's down the can and everything. Like, no, this is actually
but they're going to say
good.
that no matter what they release. Who cares?
Well, yeah, Deadpool 3 could be 5 stars and win Best Picture, and you'll still have people go, yeah, it's still not good as old MCU.
Which, by the way, there is like a clear. I was watching the Avengers, right? There is a clear difference between how good Marvel used to be and kind of what it's become now. I don't think that's necessarily a negative thing. I think it's an evolution of style. But people have I do think that the first Avenger movie is a cinematic masterpiece, and I don't even say that as a hyperbole. I think Iron Man 1 is a overrated movie, but still a cinematic masterpiece in quality. I think, but on the same token, I think The Marvels was a very fun movie. I don't think it's a cinematic masterpiece by any means, but I think it's a fun movie. I think fun movies are okay. I think Endgame is a disaster. I think Endgame was the real, the biggest dark spot for Marvel, right? Is that it's just such a poorly constructed movie.
That's the only part I couldn't agree with you. I was agreeing with you all the way up until that point. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, that's true. It's totally a mess. It's it did not need to be 3 hours, and the 3 hours made them kind of go back to telling the jokes. That's just how it goes.
That's
unfortunate, but it's the way of the world.
That's an episode for another day. But look, man, I want to say thank you very much for coming on this episode. I really appreciate it, especially for how long we've been recording and for your time. I can't wait until the next time we do this again. Hopefully we'll bring the space in between a little bit less next time, but really do appreciate it.
Come to the Fantasy Movie League draft, and then it'll be very soon.
I'll be there. I will be there with the right
It'll be in the next month, so
in the right time this time. But look, for anyone who's listening and watching, thank you very much for coming past in the show. And also, all the show notes will be in the notes. And also, definitely go check out the CB Media Network.
If you just type it into Google, you get everything you need. So, you can type everything and you get it.
Yeah, so. You need to. This man is killing it. And
appreciate it.
And 2024 is going to be your year, man.
I like to think every year was my year, but
Yeah.
But thank you so much for having me on. It was great to be here to talk to you. We always have fun talking, so it's good that we got a chance to, talk a little bit about Echo, which I watched, less than 12 hours ago. All free.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you liked it too. That was the main thing. Like you didn't watch it go, this was a waste.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I've been preempted from your show before because I didn't watch something, so I was like, I gotta watch it so I don't get, pushed to the back of the line. So Yeah.
Well, at least it was shorter. At least it wasn't.
Oh yeah, no. Invisible, I would never been able to do. Invisible, I was not going to be able to do that one, but it's all good.
No, all good. Well, as always, everyone. Until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.